Look, Keir Starmer has got a mandate from the British public, as has the Labour government. And what they needed to be doing is reflect on what has been, of course, some disappointing election results. What you then don't do is suddenly have an internal war and have public theatrics in the way that we are seeing. What you do is you go away, you reflect, you be humble, and you come back with a response to the very clear message that the electorate gave about making sure that the Labour Party is able to tell its story, it's delivering on its manifesto commitments and the priorities of the British public. That is what we expect. Now, nobody expected any of my colleagues to be behaving in this manner. And what we are seeing is really not putting the country first. That is what the Prime Minister's, priorities are. That is what the majority of Labour MPs want to see, is that we put the country first and we come back to respond to the electorate's concerns.
I mean, isn't it just a bit late to be arguing this? You know, so many of them have gone over the top. They've identified themselves. They've put their names to letters saying stand down. And that is the point at which it becomes unsustainable. You know, they're politicians. They're not just going to say, oh, I was wrong. I'm going to go back in my box.
Well, look, we've got over 400 MPs and we're hearing from 80, but we're also hearing that there's more than 100 that have put their names to a letter saying that this is not the time and colleagues must refrain from, turning inwards. We need to be outward facing. That is exactly what the electorate expects from us, not to be talking about leadership change. We've had instability in this country and what we need is stability. We have a war in Ukraine. We have a war in Iran. The priority for this Prime Minister, and that's exactly what he did at his cabinet this morning, is think about how are we going to respond to the fact that the Strait of Hormuz hasn't been opened. We've got a cost of living crisis. People are really feeling the pinch, and this is only going to get worse. That's got to be the priority of all of my colleagues.
I mean, it should have been, but the point is that we're past the point of no return, aren't we? And this just sounds delusional. You know,
I don't
we've been here before. We've seen what happens. With the Conservative Party, when you get these kind of herd movements, and some of the herd has moved, and it's not going to move back.
Well, look, I mean, you say that the herd has moved, but actually moved it for what? For what purpose? There's been no trigger process taken place. I mean, this is a number of MPs sort of setting out, their stall. Actually, they were, elected on the very same mandate that Keir Starmer has. They've got a responsibility to serve the British public that, elected them.
Yeah.
And that should really be their focus.
But you see what's going on, don't you? You are now criticising your colleagues. This is now a party that is at war with itself. And that is a disastrous look. And it's unbelievable, frankly. I mean, given the extraordinary victory you had 2 years ago and the enormous electoral majority, to have this party now fighting itself.
Yeah, look, we're not at internal war with each other, with respect.
You can't deny that. It's just a fact. That's not a matter of opinion.
With respect, I mean, I've been in opposition for 8 years. I have been fighting hard to get a Labour government. We have one. We have a lot of people in the new intake that don't have political experience. What they are showing is not political courage. And actually, it is incumbent upon people like myself. I'm not going to war with my colleagues. What I'm respectfully saying to my colleagues is, do not disrespect the electorate. Turn outwards. Look, find the solutions. Actually, what the 70, 80 of you should be doing, as opposed to sending letters which are about yourself, put country first and tell us what the solutions are. That is exactly what I'm saying. Get behind Keir Starmer and let's go and govern, because that's what is required from us. Tomorrow is the King's Speech. Colleagues have not even listened or heard what we are going to be doing in terms of the next session. And that's why everybody needs to have calm heads, just calm down, unite, but let's get on with the job.
Pre Gill, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.